Hello, everyone. Welcome again to the fourth edition, or let me say the fourth episode of Navigating the Undergraduate Journey. If you've been enjoying yourself, let me know in the comment section. What have you learned? What have you started doing? What have what has inspired you so far? What ideas have you gotten just because of this particular platform? Let us know in the comment section. You're welcome once again. My name is Catherine Tommy, and I'm the host for this particular meeting, online conference, and everything. I'm also the convener of Solutions to You. So you're welcome. If you want to partner with us, you want to team up with us, let me know in the comment section, or you can check our description. You will see our Instagram handle there. Send me a DM that you want to partner with us, you want to join us, you want to whatever you want to do with us. You want to ask questions, send us a message on Instagram and we'll take it up from there. So today we have a speaker with us, and his name is Wisdom Olobayo. I hope I got that right. So he's going to be speaking to us today on his own personal experience, or let me say from his own side of view as an undergraduate. So sit back. I'm going to add him now. So make sure that you stay connected. Make sure that you follow everything that we are doing, because this is another time for a life-changing experience. See, I said I'm going to add him up now. So when you see him, please say hello to him. Celebrate him in the comment section. Yeah. All right. So you're welcome, Wisdom. You're finally here. So before you go ahead, I'm going to send you the link now, like I said, so that you can share to people. But we are so glad to have you. Actually, we are so glad to have you here. But before we go into the questions, can you just introduce yourself and introduce us into what you're about to share with us today?
All right, so thank you so much for having me on this platform. I'm grateful to have this opportunity to share some of my knowledge with people. You know, I mean, most of the people I are on this platform, I'm sure I'm my age bracket, so there are a lot of things that will be very relatable. So my name is Wisdom Olobayo, and I'm a graduate of Olabisi Onabanjo University. I studied psychology, and I'm a writer. I'm uh, an artist and a poet. And so, what I'll be basically discussing today just borders around um, navigating, your path in school, navigating, um, finding purpose, finding your call, finding people that are in your um, people that are in the same category with you when it comes to your destiny purpose, people that's have the same goals as you do. So those are the things I was just talking about basically. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Wisdom. Thank you for telling us a few things from those things that you'll be saying today. But now I've sent you the link on your WhatsApp. Please go ahead and share. It'll just take about 30 seconds for you to do that. Go ahead and share with your friends, whoever you want to share it with. Just go ahead and share with them. So if you are watching also, go ahead and share on your WhatsApp platform, on your school groups, on your departmental groups, and so on and so forth. Share with them, because you're also helping somebody out there. You might not know you're actually helping someone. So let me know if you've done that.
Yes, I have.
Okay, you have. All right. So, welcome
Yes.
once again, Wisdom. Welcome. I don't know why when it comes to this particular, not this, when it comes to doing things like this that, don't let me say, are not spiritual, but they're actually educative. When it comes to teaching people, giving people knowledge, educating people, most times your name drop into my mind. There are times that I'll tell myself that no, no, not wisdom, that I know that I was called wisdom all the time. Wisdom, why? The other time I had to tell myself that why, it should not be like I'm using omolomo. But then it actually shows how well you've built yourself, how good you are. And I'm very sure that this particular thing I'm saying is not just me, even to people around you, that when they think about a particular subject, your name will pop up in their mind. And I actually want to applaud you for that and say that I celebrate you. I celebrate your growth, everything you are doing. Even sometimes I see you post things about women, and I'm like, even me, will be woman, God, some things that you post, I don't even know of. Like, it's really amazing. It's really, really amazing. And you see that if you're a guy here, don't shut your heart from things you are supposed to do. Things you are supposed to do might not really be the boy kind of things, might not really be what your male friends are doing, it might be something else. So open your mind to it. It can be anything. There are guys that are making hair, but I cannot allow you guys to make my oil go. There are guys that are making hair. But then, so just open your mind to just open your mind to anything positive that can come to your mind, and just do them. Don't be scared. Don't say females will say kidney cooking. People will always talk. Potato will potato. That's how
Mhm.
it is. But you must
Sure.
not give up. So I celebrate you, wisdom. I honor you.
Thank
I
you so
value
much.
everything that you do, all your work, everything that you do, your write-ups, your books, your podcast. It's
Thank you so
amazing.
much.
Amazing. All right, so we're going to our questions now. Are you ready? Are you
I'm ready.
ready? Me and
Yes.
you.
Yes. Yes. Let's begin.
All right, so our first question, it says, what were you like before you gained admission? Like the whole wisdom that we see now. What were you like before you are now?
Yeah. Thank you for that question. Okay. Before I gained admission, I was very shy. I was timid, and well, I would also add that I was battling depression, anxiety, and basically, I at a point before I gained admission, just before I gained admission, I had some idea of what I wanted to do. I had some idea of what I wanted to work in, the purposes I wanted to fulfill, but it wasn't a wholesome idea. And those things were just vague and were not properly defined. So before I got into school, I was just hoping to get into school because I felt getting into university would redefine a lot of things and would put clarity on a lot of things. And it was really necessary that I had that clarity because I am someone who dreams a lot. I mean, I daydream a lot. That's what I mean. When I say I dream a lot, it means I daydream a lot. And from my daydreams, I had, very lofty ideas of where I wanted to be. I mean, of who I wanted to become. But the purposes, the things, the channels that I was going to take to navigate myself to those places that I dreamt about, I didn't know them. I didn't have that clarity. I didn't have the understanding of the pathways to take. So I felt like I needed to be in university because that was going to give me clarity and better understanding of my purpose. So before getting into school, I I I was just I was just not there at all. I was just not there. There are a lot of things that I felt school was going to help me tackle. And to a great extent, I think being in university was it did help me. It did take care of some of those things.
Okay. For you now, you saw university as a means for you to get solution or receive clarity.
Yes. Yes.
Did anyone tell you that? Like, did anyone tell you maybe a story of how they got clarity when they were in school? Like, or you just thought about it yourself that you're going to school and you're going to get clarity about this, and that you're going through.
Yes, basically, no one told me, or no one, there was no story, there was no motivation about anything to get into school. I just had that knowing that getting into school, first of all, I felt being in university was going to be a challenge for me because, you know, like I said, I battled anxiety, I battled depression, and I had some challenges with schoolwork. And so I felt that if I just managed to get into the university, you know,
Mm,
I would the challenge, the environmental challenge, the new environment, the school academic challenge, the having to meet new people, the having to be on your own was going to, in a way, just spark something inside of me and be the turning point, on many things that. that were I was battling in my life. So I felt that university was going to bring that spark, bring that, be that ignition, so that things could start to work out. And that was what happened. That was really what happened. It didn't come from anybody. It was just the thoughts, and it was very strong.
Wow. I would say that I don't know. For me, it's strange. Not that there are not some people that come university with a positive mindset. They are, but most of them is to be based on maybe my brother went to school. He told me how his journey was. My parents said, you know, but I don't think I've really heard of those that or tho- or those that their parents have taught them a lot of things like they are now even before they get admission. They are now even before they get admission, they are now
I think the network is breaking. Can you still hear me? Hello, can you still hear me?
Can you hear me?
Right.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. It has returned.
Wow, I don't understand what happened just now because I don't understand. I think it was network. But then the network is showing full here. Then I don't know what happened. Anyways, what I was saying was that most people that you hear them say things like this, there are people that maybe their parents have taught them well. Like for that forge now, sorry, Joseph, the first speaker, he mentioned something about the fact that he was I think into he was this kind of person that had this business goal oriented mindset even before he gained admission. That was the way he actually said it. I'm actually paraphrasing it. But then I would see that he mentioned his dad, how his dad taught
Mm.
them, he saw his mom business and everything. So that one he had already seen something. So he just speaks from those things that he has seen. But for you now, you even mentioned that you were timid, like you were shy. I'm very sure that you barely spoke to anybody. And even till now, when anybody that looks at you will say you're quiet, or will say that you don't talk. Like I can even understand that if you tell me that you're timid, but then you were still able to think that going into university is going to break you out of that timidity, out of that, that life that you had before you gained university. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
feel that being timid, being shy is what most people actually go through when they are very young. But it won't me also, I went through that, you understand. But then
Hmm.
you were able to discover the fact that you were timid and you sought for solution. Can I tell you that people that go into university
Yeah.
with different kind of goals, different kind of things that they would do, and they ended up not doing anything. They ended up not doing anything. So I feel
Yes.
that this is something that someone should actually learn from. This is something someone should actually learn from. Wherever you are, or maybe you've not been getting admission and you are still an high school graduate and you feel you have a wrong mindset towards university, or you don't have anything in your mind towards university, you should just sit back and look at your life and see university as a place you are going to seek solution concerning your own life, find purpose, stuff like that. I was surprised to hear what you said. Actually, that's how I'm actually buttressing on
Yes.
it, the fact that it's rare for someone to be shy and the person should still think about the university life as a platform to break out of being timid. It's kind of rare because being in university can give you the opportunity to just hide. Like there are people
Yes.
that they went to school, you will not know that the only time you see them is in class, and after class they are already at home. Just count 1 to 20, they are already in their room. There are people like
Yes.
that. You could actually be that kind of person that you just hide from everybody. You will not even want to go to for fellowship. You will not be doing online service. Or you should just go for fellowship when it's time for sermon. And there are people like that, I tell you. They only come for
Yes,
sermon.
definitely.
I had someone in my level. He was not quiet, but it was not quiet because he talks with his friend, like when you are indoor. But when he now gets outside, like you will not hear him. Like it's as if this person cannot talk. That's how it is. There are people like that. Like you can actually use that as an opportunity to just, withdraw yourself. Don't talk to anybody. Like just be quiet. Just hide. If it's book that you love reading, read your book. All those kind of things. But I'm actually glad that you came out better and you sought
Yeah.
solutions. So if you're that kind of person, look for solution because it's not going to help you. That is it. Thank you so much, Wisdom, for sharing that with us. So now I'm going to go to the second question. It says
All
that
right.
when you hear the word undergraduate, what drops in your mind? Like when you see somebody and you're asking the person that, oh, what's your name? Can you call? And the person be like, oh, my name is this, I'm an undergraduate. What's the impression like?
I don't know. I just say it's basically it's not. I don't see it as a status, or I mean, I just see it
Mm,
as because I see it as a phase. So not as a status because it's a transient, phase. It's something that is passing. You're an undergraduate for how many
mm,
years? 3, 4, 5 years, 6 years. So it's not. I don't. When people say they're undergraduates, I just take it in the context of description. They're describing where they are at right now. I don't see it as a status, as a representation of who they are. So, and this is because I see phases as we go through life, we go through phases, and I see all phases that we go through in life as periods of growth and development. So, if someone is going through the phase of being an undergraduate, it's just a growing phase or it's a growth phase. And whatever phase they go into next, it's also a growth phase. It's basically what we do from when we are born to when we die. We never stop growing, we never stop developing ourselves. So if someone tells me they're an undergraduate, I don't pick that title as an impression on their personality or on their person or on how much they've achieved. I see it as, just a description of the phase they are in right now. So that's just how I see it.
yeah, and as you were saying something about you don't use, like when they tell you they're an undergraduate, you don't use that to judge the kind of person that they are. Then this
Yes.
this thing dropped in my mind, being the fact that do you know that till now there are some people that when they see people that are in university, the only thing that drops in their mind is they are bad children. Like when they just see people that are in university, they will just automatically believe that these children are bad children. That
Yeah,
I,
yeah, I
I
mean, I
bad.
see
And even
those kind of things.
when it comes to youth, like when it comes to youth, they don't believe that you can do anything that will be tangible. That's why in some churches they will not give responsibility to youth because they feel that we know they their level at all. So I feel like
But
there's this
that's
kind of
that's that's
mentality.
false.
That's false. And there are some people that, like, other people will see, or let me say, people that maybe they made mistake as an undergraduate and they're not a graduate. If they hear you're an undergraduate too, there's this kind of bitterness I've been there. How about when I was an undergraduate? You are lucky you. So this question was actually very important to me because based on the answer, we're going to know exactly what is going on. If someone is telling me
Yeah.
you're an undergraduate and I'm like, oh, you're so lucky you. In short, so I regret my time as an undergraduate. And there are people that they'll just, feel that people will just be like, okay, so you understand. And there's some people that will take it as an entitlement. I entered the bus today, and when the man was just joking actually. When he entered, the man said 400 new. Even I said no, it's 300 years. Him is a student too. And I'm like, is that what you paying to enter bus now? Okay. It means I'm a student, or if it's that one.
I
So
I understand that people can do that, but I
exactly. So
just
even most
I just
undergraduates,
the
that's the kind of
stereotypes are funny.
mentality that they carry in their head. I'm a student too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a student too. So that this question is actually very important, because from this question I can actually, discover the kind of person, the kind of thoughts that you have. The second
Mm-hmm.
speaker, Erica, and I talked about something that, although we were not able to explore to our own satisfaction, and we know that because now, yeah, we are thinking of the thing we should have done. But then she said something about the fact that we do not regret it. That is it. We do not
Mm-hmm.
regret it. If I say undergraduate today, I celebrate them. Like, I don't even think anything. Although there are sometimes that my undergraduate does not flash back, but I'm like, it is gone. I don't feel bad, and I
Yes.
don't I don't feel like the same thing I went through, they are going to go through the same thing. So I don't need to
Mm-hmm.
think in a bad way concerning them. They might even come out better. Their results can be better than mine, even though it's all you
Mm-hmm.
cast. Even though it's my
Uh-huh.
department that you are telling me I'm my department, I will not just think that, I failed a 504. Actually, this girl, no, she girl not gonna fail it like this. So that is it. So it is important for us to actually check our mind sometimes. So this question is just to check our mindset. What exactly is in our mind that we don't
Yes.
know? Thank you for being
Yeah.
sincere.
To
Like
yeah,
you
to
said,
add to that, to add to that, I would say that the stereotypes really can just be funny because from whatever stereotype you have concerning university students or regarding undergraduates cannot hold because it's usually just a projection of your own trauma, if there was
yeah,
any trauma during your stay at during your undergraduate days, and it's you projecting your trauma on someone or on people because they're in a particular phase is it shows that you've not healed. But then if you've not healed, don't scar other people, don't injure other people's dreams or other people's ambitions. So looking at being in that phase as, oh, you are a bad person or you are this or you are that. Are there not people who went through the undergraduate phase and finished, came out with the first class, or that they came out achieving something worthwhile? You don't have to project or lump up the majority or the popular stories with the things that can actually happen. So if you're not in that phase, or if you've gone through that phase and you've missed some opportunities, encourage people that are coming after you to go through those,
that
go
is
through that phase, getting
it.
those opportunities, not talking down what they can get. That's just a stereotype.
Yeah, and I remember that there was someone that, when I was in 200 level, there was this course CRP 201, and before we got to CRP 201, we've already heard that CRP 201 is the most difficult course in 200 level, and the lecturer is wicked. We heard that the lecturer is wicked, that if he gives you 7 o'clock as the time, he's going to get there 7 or dot. We thought this was a joke. Oh. Because as an 100 level student, we already had different kind of lecturers that will come from our go. Some will come around 4 o'clock, some will come around 3 o'clock. They'll tell us 12, they'll come around 2. So we already had that kind of experience. So the first day we had lectures, it was CRP 201. Can I tell you that nobody went to class? Because we already imagined that the man will not come. And the man went to class. He wrote on the board that Mr. So was here for CRP 201, and he left. It was those that went to maybe school to charge or something, that they saw the thing on the board, they now snapped it and sent it to our group. You see, the next Tuesday for that class, oh God. They did not want you to miss that class. Like, everyone was in class, and it was exactly how they said it, that it was. The man was never late. Ever since I've been in that school, I've never seen the man come late for anything. If he gives you this time, he's going to be there. But do you know that all those things that they said created fear in most of us hearts, including me? It created
Mhm.
fear in our hearts. The mindset of CRP 201 is hard. And we had that fear in our mind. So as it was giving us the multiple handouts, the fear was increasing. So we will see handout, it's big enough to be textbook. The fear was increasing. So there's no way we will carry that handout and it will enter this head. It not just it like for me, it did not even just agree and enter. It did not agree. Can I tell you the number of people that carry that course, including me? People that carry
Wow.
that course, let me say half of our set carry that course. Like half of our set carry that course. And we still had additional people that carried the course. People that still carry the join our own set. Half of us carry that course. But then I just had to sit down and think about the fact that when I was reading it again, because I had to attend the class again, even the man had to ask me
Mhm.
that, why am I here? I said I carried it. He now asked me why I carried it. I had to just open up that me, I was scared. So there was nothing I could read that could enter this my head because the fear was already
Mhm.
in my heart already.
Yeah, thank you.
And I read for the
Exactly.
court, I read for the exam, I read for the exam again, and I saw that the thing that was so hard to digest was now easy to digest. It was one that
Mhm.
told me then that I should not like that why am I scared? Something like that. And I already had experience with other courses that were not so difficult because I read them. So I knew that it was that fear and that mindset that affected me. So I had to let it go. So when I read,
Mhm.
I was reading with the right mindset. I was not scared anymore. And so many other things
Mhm.
like that. My supervisor was the should I say most brilliant. He's a professor that does not use anything to teach. And because I was able to overcome that fear, I told myself that that's the kind of person I was as my supervisor. Although it was not easy. Oh. It was not easy. No, when you're a prof is a supervisor, it's a whole lot.
Yeah.
So that is how it is when you have fear in your mind, or let me say when you say because something happened to you, and it's a very bad thing. And I feel that even aside from graduates, if you are a level older than somebody, and because that thing did not work for you, there's no need for you to put fear in the other person. There's even a graduate that have told me before when I was advising somebody else who about first class. It's not
Mm.
even me. Oh, the person was there. I was advising another person about first class. She now said, "Oh, uh, first class. That is not possible. That even if you read. I said, no. This person never entered school. Don't hear advise the person that is not possible. That did
Uh-huh.
not work for
Exactly.
you. It did not work for me. So don't mean it did not work for this person. And also the person
100%.
that
Exactly.
you can strive for it. That I know people that had first class. I know them. So we
Mhm.
should actually be careful with this kind of things, like this kind of mindset,
Mm.
this kind of experience that you now want to carry it and put it on somebody else. We should actually be careful.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that. That you should not bleed on someone that did not hurt you, right? That's how you said it. Is that how you
Yeah. It
said
says
it?
do not carry your injuries and then scar other people. So
Exactly. Don't carry your injuries and scar other people. Let's be careful. Let's really, really be careful. Work on yourself. You know, even you move past it. It has happened already. You have failed that course. You have written it. Have you written it? You spill over. You have written the exam. You are now working. What is not the issue? I don't understand. What's the issue? You have a certificate already. What are you not dragging? What
yeah.
they will not ask you how many times you carry the course. Bring certificates. If it's good, fine.
Exactly.
That is how it is. Nobody will interview that you have carryover. In fact, you ask the interviewer that you now have carryover for your life. Yes, how it is. So thank you so much,
Yeah.
Wisdom, for sharing that with us. So now the fourth question is
Right.
a question that I feel that is about you, like everything about you. And I know it
Mhm.
might be a long one, depending on how much you want to share. So it says that tell us how
Okay.
it was for you as an undergraduate, how it was for you as an undergraduate. And the discussion is going to, entail your challenges, your lesson, and your triumph. So, how was it for you as an undergraduate?
Okay. I'll start by chronicling how I started. So getting into school, I got into school. I graduated how long ago? 2021. So I got into school 2016, and so I met, with very, very amazing people from the start. That's just the honest truth. Both in
Wow.
my department, seniors in my department, and then from the fellowship I began to attend. So, like I said, getting into university, I said I was going to come with the um mindset, or with the idea of becoming a better person going out. I told myself I'm not going to leave this university being shy of standing in front of people, or being timid to stand in front of people to talk. I'm not going to leave this university not knowing how to express myself. I'm not going to leave this university, carrying a weight of guilt or worry or depression around me. I'm not going to leave this university, you know, being weighed down by things that I cannot control. I'm going to leave this university, taking control of my life and then doing the things that I know I need to do to come out better, to come out on top. And I felt this was attainable because I think one thing that we need to learn is that, and that's why I feel that stereotyping university students is maybe almost foolish. If you don't give yourself to challenges, if you don't throw yourself at challenges, you cannot become anything. You need to take those kind of risks. You need to pick yourself and then throw yourself at things that you know you're supposed to overcome. The mountains you're supposed to climb over wouldn't be climbed if you just turn back. You saw those mountains and then you turn back and you're looking for another route to pass. Whatever you do not overcome right now, whatever comes your way and you do not face head on, would always meet you at some point in your life. So if you turn your back against things that are in front of you for you to overcome, end up not overcoming them, and then they come to meet you again, because that's what life does. Life never leaves you until you learn the lesson. You cannot escape the lesson. So those things will always find a way of reverting back to your life until you can break through them. If you fail again, if you turn back, if you do not meet those problems, those challenges head on, they would always come back. So getting into school, I thought about all of these things and I told myself that if I was given that chance of being in university, I'm not going to come out not conquering all those challenges. And so one of the first challenges I had was socializing, because I would say, I tell people I don't make friends. I find it hard to make friends. Even till now, I still find it hard to make friends. Hard to just walk up to someone and then start to talk about stuff, because I'm like, oh, what am I going to say? But then I can be very conversational. That is, if someone engages me, I can, talk and engage with the person. So I said I was going to break that, and I was going to find a way to make friends, and not just any kinds of friends, but the kinds of friends, that would help my life, that would be best suited for me. And so by the time we finished in the university, my clique in school, my clique in my department was really the most solid. We might have had our issues, but we were really that clique that didn't break. We're really that clique that just would have each other's backs. It was beautiful, honestly. It was beautiful throughout our time there. So starting in 100 level, I met, I met one of them out of my friends, and then she introduced me to the others that were staying with her. And then there were two other guys with me, and we were about eight in the clique. So basically I had this small group of people with me. And I felt, having this small group of people is enough strength for me, to navigate my journey academically. I did not need to make friends with the entire school to, find, is a landing spot in school. I felt that if I had these eight friends, and these eight friends really liked me, and these eight friends really knew me and saw who I am truly, that is enough to give me confidence to walk around in school. I have eight friends that like me. I have eight friends that knew me, because previously, when I was in secondary school, I literally didn't have friends. I was usually alone most times. I
I
usually
imagine
walking
the
alone.
joy
And
that you feel.
exactly the joy that I felt making friends. And so when I had those eight people, I did make friends with other people in the department, but these people were at the core of my heart, because I felt that these people could see me, because that's what I always felt. I felt, you know, before I came into the university, I usually I used to look at myself as not being noticed, not being visible. So finding these people and them also seeing me, them also noticing me, them also liking me, them also, you know, keeping in their minds, my database. They know what I like, they know what I don't like, they know the things I love to, they know my favorite color, they know things about me. I just felt it was beautiful, and I was I value loyalty a lot. And well, I value loyalty because where am I going to see other friends? Friends are not genuine friends are not everywhere. So finding them, you know, first time in university, what are you going to do with them? Throw them away? No. So I also stuck with them, and they really helped me to navigate my time academically. Then I met friends in church, I met friends in fellowship. And like I said, this meeting people, this becoming friends with people came out of my need to socialize. I realized that regardless of my ambition, regardless of whatever I wanted to become, regardless of how noble it is, I cannot become that if I do not meet people, if people don't help me. I needed help and I still need help. There is no sports you'd want to be in life if you do not have friends to carry you there. When Moses was fighting a particular city, God said, you raise your hands, and when you raise your hands, your men would win, would keep winning. And then it got to a point, Moses, his hands started to get weak. And then what did God tell him to do? He asked him to get Aaron and Hur. And Moses was the kind of person, I guess we probably have the same personality in a way, because he was the kind of person that would want to do things alone without, you know, needing or asking for the help of other people. But first of all, Jethro, his father-in-law, had to correct him. And then again, God had to tell him, get Aaron and Hur, so they hold your hands. And so that's important. Socialization is important. You need to get people around you. You need to get strong people around you that would hold you, because there'll be weak moments. There'll be moments where you do not feel like
Yeah.
going to school. There'll be times when you do not feel like going to church, you do not feel like praying, you do not feel like
Mhm.
doing the right things.
Yeah.
You feel like, oh, you don't have money this week. Now let me do what those people in your class who you know what they are doing. And then you want to get into all of those. But then having solid friends around would curb all of that. They would be able to keep you in check. So in a way, these friends that I made in my 100 level were my anchor. They were able to hold me down. They were able to um they were able to keep me in check. I wanted to do something. I would think of what my friends would do in that moment, or I'll ask them for advice. I wasn't walking alone. So that was really, really important. Spiritually, academically, I needed the people that I had around me, and I was glad that they stuck with me and I stuck with them. And then next, like I said, you cannot overcome anything if you do not throw yourself at them. You know, battles are won when you attack, honestly. Battles are actually won. You can run away from something. There are some things you should run away from. There are some battles that you do not need to fight. But when you find the things that are worth fighting for, you know them. And then when you identify those things that are worth fighting for, you need to face them. If you do not face them, those things will always come back. And so when I realized I needed to also become eloquent, I needed to also know how to, talk to people and stand in front of people and talk to them without having to feel intimidated or to feel fear. I said, I am going to throw myself at, you know, the opportunities that surely were going to come my way. So in church, one of the first opportunities was the talk show committee, the talk show group. And I said, I'm going to join this committee because I know that if I join this committee, the leader of this group, one way or the other, one time or the other, will ask me to speak, will ask me to anchor one of the shows. I knew that would be inevitable if I joined. Joining is not a problem, but then now anchoring might be the problem, would have been the problem. But then I said, I'm going to put myself in the right position. I'm going to position myself so that this thing is going to hit me. And then I would have no choice but to confront it or run. But I knew I wasn't going to run because that was a choice I had made previously. And I don't run away from things that I said I was going to do. So I said I was going to join, and I joined. And later, I later became the head of that committee. And so I had to inevitably anchor, programs, anchor shows myself. But that was the starting point. First of all, I wanted to be an usher so I could stand and then people would see me, because I knew that I would have to walk across, the church auditorium, many times during the service, and definitely people would see me. And all of those times I would walk around or walk across the auditorium, walk across the pulpit, I would always shake. I would always be shaking. My hands would be trembling. My palms would be sweaty. I would really, but I said, if you want to die here, you die here. This is what you are going to overcome. This is what you want to overcome. You're going to stand here until these things change, until these mountains move. And so I would, with shaky voice, with shaky legs, with sweaty palms, I would still walk across and then do the things that I was supposed to do. And then when the opportunities kept coming, I kept throwing myself at them. By the time I got to 400 level, I was able to speak to my faculty. I mean, I was able to teach them in, I can't remember the name of that hall now, the AA. The entire faculty, I was able to teach them. What course was that? I think it was Bio 101 also. They were doing one biology related course, psychology also, because they needed that for, so psychology became a general course. I think Psych 105, it was a general course at the point for all students in my faculty. And I had to teach them because they didn't needed a tutor. At that point, it was quite easy. I wasn't shy. I wasn't no sweaty palms. I had this um I felt stressed, having to teach that large number of people, but then there is a stress that is good that you can use. I felt stressed before coming on this live, but there's a stress that you can wield the problems. You can turn those things around. You can hold those things in your hand and say, I would use them as weapons instead of, you know, letting them be the things that fight me. So I said I'm not going to run. And that's a commitment I've made in my life permanently. I'm not going to run away from anything. Whatever it is I know I'm supposed to overcome, I'm not running. I would stay there and fight it until it leaves. So I'm not running. And that's one thing you need. That's one determination you need to make. And that's one thing you need to say to yourself. Because problems will come. You find out when you get to university. And well, for some of you, you even find out before you get to university that there are a lot of things you need to work on. There are a lot of
Yeah.
there are many parts of your life where you're actually inadequate, if you're being honest. But then you know that you're not going to always be inadequate. You don't want to always be incomplete. You don't want to always not be enough. You don't want to always not grow. You don't want to always remain small. You want to find yourself doing big things. And big things doesn't necessarily have to become popular things, but big things mean being in your purpose, doing the right thing at the right time. And you want to always do that. You want to become that person. So what do? You need to face those problems head on. So another thing that I had to um, battle was, let's say, I think I'd say finances. You know, it wasn't all smooth for me, going through school. And how was I supposed to, help myself in times that I needed money and money wasn't there? There were a lot of sacrifices that I had to make that, further dampened my financial power during school. And many of those sacrifices related to church. And I still do not regret any of them because I knew that those commitments were very important. I knew that those commitments were things that were seeds and they're going to pay me in future and they're still going to pay me in future. And so those commitments were, things that I made personally to God. Those sacrifices were things that I personally, you know, put out there because I know that those things will pay me back. But then how was I able to navigate that? I would say I don't know, but then things are harder now. That's the honest truth. So I won't even give anybody advice on how to manage this and this because things are harder. Gas that was by 150 and 250. By the time I was leaving school, I think it was 300. Now it's like 1,000. So things are a lot harder. So I would just say that whatever your hand finds to do it well and do it with all thy might you know.
Yeah.
So at 400 level, there was at a point I started to take lessons. I told my guy because he said there was someone there around here that was looking for a lesson teacher. So I said I was going to start doing that so I could at least get like extra cash. So and if I tell you, I'm even too shy to say what I was getting paid because it was really small, really really small. Monthly, it was really small. But then I was like, I had to do this. Why? Because I just need the extra cash. It was little, but little is something and I needed it because it's going to help me. So I think the last thing I would mention is how I was able to personally meet academic challenges. I think that any challenge in the first place that you face should be met with a smile. And I probably do not know how to articulate this in words, and probably that's why I've not written a book about it. But I'd still advise people to, when you face challenges or when challenges come to you, the first thing you're supposed to give that challenge is a smile. Don't see those things as monsters that you cannot overcome. Don't dread them. Even if you dread them, face them. Don't fear them. Don't turn your back. So there were courses that I felt like they were hard. Would I be able to pass this? Would I be able to do this? But then I ended up passing them, all of them. And many times I'll just see the questions first and I don't understand anything. But the first thing I'll do, I'll just smile at it. I will smile at it. And then it calms me down. There's something that it does to you because it reorients your brain. Now you're smiling, your brain is like, oh, what's up now? Or it's not a problem then. This is something that is pleasant. This is something that should give you pleasure. Your brain helps you in that moment. But when you face problems like that and then you are entertaining fear, your brain accepts that. Your brain says, oh, it's fear now. This thing is a challenge. You need to run from it. So your brain locks up. So I'll smile, now pray, and then I'll start. I just know it was God, honestly, because I wouldn't even, I'm not even saying that this guarantees success all the time. I'm not saying so. I'm saying that it does guarantee that you remain true to your word to not turn back from things that challenge you or things that you face or hard things that come your way. It does guarantee that you would always be loyal to your growth process. It does guarantee that you would remain, faithful to your commitment to improving yourself and developing. So whatever challenge, academically particularly, I would not back down. I had my project supervisor was the one I prayed to not have. I specifically prayed to God to not have him as my project supervisor. That's the truth.
Okay.
I specifically prayed to God, God, let it not be this person. I do not want it. I mean, I wanted someone particularly. I mentioned the person particularly to God, but I said, God, even if it's any other person, let it not be this person. That was the person who ended up being my project supervisor. And then I will tell you that it was really hard on that. It was hard. It was hard. What was I going to do? What was I going to do at any
Okay.
point? I just had to just commit myself to getting things done because that's just it. And today I really feel so proud. I didn't graduate the first class, so but I still feel so proud. I see my result and I feel so proud. I said, this is mine. This is something I worked for. This is something
That's
I
it.
really, really, yes, I really, this was what I did. I mean, previously before getting into university, I was having struggles, even academically. But getting to university, I said, I'm not going to finish, I'm not going to fail. And I didn't fail. And I finished. And I said, now this is my results. This is something I worked for. And this is my success. So going through school, I was like you said, really, if you do the right things, really you wouldn't have regrets. Everything might not go down perfectly. Everything might not go 100% according to plan. But if you commit yourself to that plan, if you indeed know that you indeed committed yourself to that plan, that you indeed said, I'm going to, make things right during this my 4 years or 5 years in university, and you indeed commit, you indeed put yourself in that position, you committed yourself to that word, things might not have turned out 100% perfectly as you wanted, but you'd feel proud. And that's the pride that I feel knowing that I just have my BSc, although I want to further my education. But that pride, alone that I completed my BSc myself, it
Yeah.
keeps me going. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my god. Where did I want to start talking from? Where does that? I don't know. I don't know because you've said a lot, a whole lot. And looking at everything you said that you knew and you were intentional about getting better, would bring me to say that you are the one that can actually help yourself. Even,
Exactly.
when it comes to, I'm talking to Christians now, believers, the faith people, when it comes to the faith that we talk about, it starts from you. That's how it is.
Hmm.
It starts from you. It is not God that will benefit from faith. It is you that will benefit from faith. So it starts from you.
Hmm.
And I tell people that whenever you're not seeing changes in your life, like you're not seeing any results, that the question should not be, God, why? The question should be, what are you not doing right? In some cases, it's
Hmm.
not even waiting period. It's not you're in your waiting season at all. It is that you're not doing something right. What are
Hmm.
the steps you are taking? Or you're not even taking any steps. Like
Hmm.
sometimes we need to sit down as Christians, we need to sit down and examine the things that is happening to us. When we sit down and examine it, we will know that number one, it is not waiting season. But many people, I know there is waiting season. There are times that God will actually put you in waiting season. But many people are in waiting season that God did not put them.
Mm-hmm.
So I also tell people that even if you are in waiting season, at least be assured that you're in waiting season. Know that you're in waiting season. Not that somebody said,
Okay.
or because one person waited for 7 years before they gain admission. So automatically, because you've not seen admission in your first year, second year, you're thinking that it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Don't read. You will spend 10 years, you will spend 15, and it will not still click. That's how
Uh-huh.
it is. But when you do the right thing, you might see that your own might not even be up to 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Your own might not be waiting season if you do the right thing. Imagine if you've sat down with the mindset of the kind of person you are. And many people say that that's who I am. Like, that's my nature. I'm an introvert.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I am. Like, they say it with boldness. And I,
Mm-hmm.
I look at them and I say, it's not bad to have your personality. I'm very sure that even for you, you still sometimes want to just, withdraw yourself from the crowd and just be to yourself. That one is not bad. But when it now comes to you not showing up when you are supposed to show up, that means there is something wrong. And this is me saying to undergraduates also that work on yourself. If you notice all the speakers that have been speaking, most of everything that they said on one particular thing that they kept saying is work on yourself, build yourself as an undergraduate. That is the best time. I know you say that we can redeem the time, we can do it anyhow, but then there's no
Mm-hmm.
way, no how. If you fail to do it as an undergraduate, when you
Exactly.
now start
There's a
doing it,
perfect
you're going
time.
to be remembering. You said what?
Mhm. I said there's a perfect time for it. The undergraduate phase, is a perfect phase to build yourself.
Exactly, exactly. It's okay to be yourself, even now that you're a graduate, but then you keep remembering. There's no way you will shall remember, Sha. You will remember. You will remember. But now that you're an undergraduate, take steps now. What is that
Mm-hmm.
thing that is in your life that you know it is not normal? Is it when you want to deceive yourself? You will know it is not normal. For example, now I'm so I don't want to say that am I glad or maybe I'm not surprised though. But then I feel that if not everybody, most of us have this ability to quickly know the things that are wrong in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if you don't
Mm-hmm.
know everything, there's no way you will know that something is wrong. Abi, am I lying? For example,
No, no,
now,
you're
if
not. You're not.
exactly, for example, now, if you are shy and you want to face crowd and you see that you are, what's this word? Oh? It's Yoruba version that me Yoruba. I want to say the English. That you are stammering. You are stammering, and you are not a
Mm-hmm.
stammerer, but you are stammering when you're supposed to be speaking. You are some people they will even be having sweating palms. Some people will be sweating even under AC. You know that you cannot face crowd. That is, you should know that there's something wrong. You know that
Mm-hmm.
you cannot do something effectively. I mean, there is something wrong. Don't pretend and say that's the way you are.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the way you are. The Bible says that everything that God made, when He saw it, He said they were good or they are
Very
good.
good.
So God has seen you
Mm-hmm.
as perfectly made. So if you're not saying that you have a flaw and you're saying that's the way you are, and you're not praying to God for wonders, for signs and wonders, it's not going to work. Because if you already say that's the way you are, so the signs and wonders cannot even visit you at all because that's the way you are.
Yes.
So if you want change, it starts from you. If you listen to wisdom story very well, you can see that most of the things that the solution that he got, the result that he got, started from him. He made the decision. He told himself the right thing, even when he was faced with so many challenges. For example, like he mentioned, his supervisor. You could have decided to
Mm-hmm.
just do it anyhow. Okay, just give me E. If it's E, I'm fine. What don't want me to get out? As I'm feeling like that. If it's E, just E, let me just graduate. You could have done it the way you wanted because that's the way you are. That's the language that people use. You could have done it the
Mm-hmm.
way you want. Same as when people come to universities and say it's not the course I picked. So they
Mm-hmm.
just do anyhow, do not go to class. do not read their books, do not do anything, because that's not the course they picked.
Mhm.
It starts from you. The change that you are seeking for, that other person you are hiring, that person you are saying that person is brilliant and everything. The person did not bring the brain from heaven, and you did not bring a
Exactly.
dollar brain from heaven. It is on this earth that you cultivated it. It is on this earth that you cultivated it due to laziness, procrastination, absent minded. So check yourself. Many of the things that you say is part of it, they are not part of you. So I'm trying to even remember most of the things that you said, but because you said a lot of things. And from your story, I want everyone to pick something from it. Pick from his life. You will not hear him say things like it was advised. Although seeking counsel is good though. There are some people that is what they counsel you like 50 times before you know what you're supposed to do. But then take step by step. That's why I said something about examining yourself. Check yourself day by day. Check
Mhm.
yourself. Check yourself. Check yourself. What is that thing that is not right? That is how it is. That's how you can actually improve. You know, if you hear wisdom, it was saying most of the things that he said, like I said earlier, are things that he decided by himself. Although he said yes, God helped him. Yeah, God helps every one of us. It helps every one of us. It speaks to every one of us. I was going to say something recently that it speaks to even unbelievers. But those ones cannot hear him.
Mhm.
Because Bible says that my sheep hear my voice and they know. They cannot know. That's why most of them, you will tell them that they should share something. They will say, that something told me. They cannot go there and say the Holy Spirit told them because we'll ask them, which Holy Spirit told you? But most of them will say, something told me, something. That's something. It's God that is speaking to them. But they cannot know because they don't know God. So God speaks to every one of us. He speaks to every single one of us. So if it's coming to your mind, if one particular character or one trait is coming to your mind, like constantly, repeatedly, take steps concerning it. Even if it's a business, even if it's something positive, take steps. Don't wait until they do prophecy on your head. They might not prophesy to you in your entire life. That's the point. In your whole
Yes.
entire life, the time you're going to spend on this head, nobody might say, my sister, God said concerning you. It might just be you and God. It might just be God speaking to your mind. So if you are joking with the things that are coming to your mind, the positive things or even the negative things about you, they're supposed to take steps on, then you are joking with yourself. You're joking with
Mhm.
yourself. And I want to say something, not to shame you, but I remember then, when you talk about responsibility and everything, I remember when they gave you, I think you were the president of CASA, right?
I was general secretary.
You were not the president,
No, I was not the president. I was general
or you were the
secretary.
BSS one time, right?
No, I was not the BSS, but I was a pastor. I mean, I was a zonal pastor,
Okay,
and
I
then I
think
also
that's what I wanted to remember, Pastor. So they inducted you, like, you came to Shagam that day.
yes,
When they called
yes.
you out, I was wondering because the way you came out, I'm like, this boy that they give responsibility, this boy, I understand, like this particular boy, like you came out, it was obvious in your appearance, in your countenance that you're not supposed to be here. Like you were just so, your face was just so, I don't know, it was just so down. You look like a boy actually then. For you look. So as you were talking now about how you felt then I'm like, I was not kind of bringing everything together that that's true, that's why you were like that then. But look at how you
Mhm.
are now. Look at how you are now. How if you look at you look back, I'm very sure as you're preparing for this, you were having flashbacks of how you were
Mhm.
before and even
Mhm.
where you are now. Every one of us
Mhm.
we do that. So work on yourself. That is how it is. It's not going to be permanent first, but when you keep on taking steps, you keep on breaking all the barriers, you are going to come out better. No matter what it
Exactly.
is, you are definitely going to come out better. Every one of us that you see that are here today doing this and that, we did not jump there. We never even thought we could get to where we are today. But glory to God, and the fact that we also took steps ourselves to be better. You need to take steps also as an undergraduate. Stop stop joking with your life as an undergraduate. Stop saying there's still time. Close your eyes and open
Mhm.
your eyes. You're already in 2030. Close your eyes and open your eyes. You're already having gray hair. That's how it is.
Right.
There's still time you keep procrastinating. So take steps now. Whatever you want to do, do it now. Do it now. Thank you so much, Wisdom, for giving us that elaborate explanation. Like it
Mhm.
was you were actually saying one particular thing about yourself, right? You were not really going different ways.
Mhm.
But then out of what you were saying, there were different, different points that we could pick, that we could also, practice, we could also learn about it, that could also give us more information. Being the fact that you were touching different angles, and as you were touching different angles, you were also giving us points. And I actually love that.
Mhm.
I love that. And I know that people also will get inspired on what you've said. The next question says that, would you say that, okay, sorry. What are the things that you discovered about yourself even as an undergraduate? Like the things that you never knew about yourself before you gain admission,
Mhm.
but you discovered them as an undergraduate. What are those things?
Okay. Um, I'm not sure there are so many. I'm not sure there are so many things that I discovered as an undergraduate that I had not discovered before. And I'll say, I'm saying there are not so many because I think one of the, maybe it's a superpower, I don't know, but I wouldn't say it's a superpower. I'd say most introverts have that, and that's the ability to introspect. And that's because, you know, people who have the ability to spend time alone by themselves, are more likely to understand, you know, their deep feelings and, understand themselves better because now they are alone. They can think, they can look inwards, they can, pick out one or two things. And so that ability to introspect, gave me a good idea of things that I was able to do and not do, my strengths and weaknesses. But if I want to talk about, what university taught me particularly, or what skill I realized I had in the university, I'd say it's the ability to keep people together. When I started to make friends in university, I realized that, aside, now I can make friends, but then can I hold a group together? Can I foster, love? Can I foster loyalty amongst these people? Can I keep these people together? Can I, you know, lead? Can I make sure that, this group isn't breaking apart? So as a university, I learned that I really had that ability. I really had that passion for, keeping things cohesive. And um,
Mm,
I learned that in university. So particularly, I also learned to lead. I also learned that I I didn't need to go through life just being a spectator all the time. You know, there are times, yes, I can listen. I like to cheer people on. I still do that. But then I also realized that I had the destiny to also stand in front of people and not just listen to them, not just cheer them, not just be the audience. But then I can also lead them. I can also show them, the right way to go. And um, I'm glad that I had many opportunities in university to express those two um, skills and to hone them properly. First of all, to hone the skill of keeping groups cohesive, that is binding people together and keeping them staying together, and then to hone leadership, that skill of leadership. Because prior to that time, I I I didn't see myself in that position of leadership or to lead. But then when I got to university after 2 3 years, I started seeing myself actually volunteering to lead in different cases. Like I'll take on those situations that required a leader, where people would step back and say, "Oh, I don't think I can do this." I'll just see myself putting myself in that position and taking it up. Usually, I'm not the kind of person that would rush towards those things, but then I look around and I see that, oh, actually have competence, actually now have that confidence that yes, I have competence to take on this or to take this on. And instead of running away or allowing someone else who is going to mess things up to take it up, why don't you just humbly accept, what is being presented and just do the right thing? And so I found myself in that situation severally. Many times those things were, incidental because I would probably be holding, a position of leadership somewhere else. And then in maybe another group that I'm functioning in, I see that maybe the leader is away, leader is not feeling well, or someone is absent, and then nobody wants to take things up. I found myself just, you know, coming to the rescue and doing the right thing. So basically, I learned those two in university, and I realized that I was not just able to, I didn't just understand that I could do this, but then I said, now this is a skill I've realized. I know I have this now. I have to also hone it. I have to also develop it. I have to also, you know, make it something tangible. So those are the things I got from university.
Wow, that's good. That's good. And these things that you actually discovered are things that will help you through a lifetime. Yeah. There are
Hmm.
things that will really, really help you. And even now, you don't even need anybody to tell you before you take up responsibilities, or before you tell them what you do, or before you volunteer if you want to. And one thing I would say to the audience from what you said is that always show up. Now, I'm not saying show off. Show up
Yes.
means that appear where you're supposed to appear, be visible, something like that. In a crowd where you see people are doing something, or in a crowd where you see that they are maybe calling out for volunteers, in a crowd where you see that this is an opportunity for you to do something and you know you can do it, don't keep quiet. Be visible. I'm not saying you should do eye service. So be visible. Just show up. Take responsibilities. Where you are supposed to be there. Even though people that are there are older than you or they are younger than
Hmm.
you, show up. When it comes to learning also, if it's that the person you're supposed to learn from is in a level lower than you can learn. There's a girl that I have, she's my friend. And I know that when many people that stay our friendship might not really understand, because she was in, I think, 200 level when I was in 400 level. And she's my friend, even till now. The first thing I noticed about her is that she's a very bright person. And most of the things that she was doing then, I was interested. Like, I was just attracted to this person. But I did not allow the fact that she was 2 levels younger than me to hinder me from learning the things I'm supposed to learn. And today I'm grateful to God for that relationship. So don't, withdraw yourself from where you are supposed to be.
Hmm.
Don't withdraw yourself from where you are supposed to be. Show up, take responsibility, take assignment, volunteer for things that you know that you can do. Volunteer for them. Tell people about what you do. Open your mouth and tell people about what you do. Let people see you for what you do. I'm very sure that if they mention some things, like what I said earlier, that some people think about some things that there's no way now your name can just drop in their mind, because they've seen you do it, they've seen you operate in it, they know what you
Yes.
do. But you have a
Exactly.
best friend, and the best friend does not know anything that you do. People in your circle, they don't know what you do. No, there's no way you can thrive like that. There's no way you can be successful like that. So show up, take responsibility, explore your strength, explore your strength. This also take us back to examining yourself. You cannot know your strength if you don't examine yourself. And some
Hmm.
things I cannot do, not because it's bad, but it's not my strength. For example, selling clothes. Yeah, you all know that kind of business. I cannot do it. I cannot do it. Can I do business? Yes, I can. But clothes, shoe, slippers, I cannot do all those kind of things. Same thing with makeup, doing makeup for somebody. I cannot do it. So there are places that you are good at. There are things that you are good at. There are things that you can do effortlessly. Like without even checking Google, asking anybody, you just do it. Explore
Hmm.
your strength. If you're in an organization and they need somebody to do this and that, tell them you can do it. I've even heard of someone that was saying that even if she does not know how to do it, she will tell them that she can do it. She will not go ask somebody, or she should just, browse about it. That kind of person now, it will get to a time that she will not even need to ask anybody again. Being the fact that she has experienced it over and over again, she'll just keep telling them that she can do it. Can you see that kind of strategy? She did not learn about it, she did not know about it, she just maybe heard about it or have a little knowledge. But the task they gave her was more than what she knew. She went to ask around. Now, do you think that the next time they need somebody, they will not call her? They will. They know her already. She has done it. They didn't know she asked somebody, but they shall know she has done it. So that is how it is. So explore your strength. Show up where you're supposed to show up. Take up responsibility. Stop pushing the responsibility to other people. Take it up and let people see you for what you do. Thank you, Wisdom, for sharing that.
Mhm.
And now the next question says that, would you say that your undergraduate days influenced what you do now? I feel that you've answered that in your fifth question. Like what you do now, will you say that your undergraduate days influenced it?
Well, talking about what I do now, maybe there are a few things that I do right now. So I think I said at a point that I'm looking to um, I studied psychology, so I'm looking to uh, get into that field practically and practice. And so currently, I'm just gaining experience. So I work in a psychological firm, clinical psychological firm. So yes, to some extent, what I learned in university influenced that. And then talking about leadership or being able to talk to people, yes, it did influence that also because now I might not be the person to seek out those opportunities to talk to people, but then when I see those opportunities, as much as I can, as much as my schedule and time will allow me, I can indeed talk to people and just share my understanding or share my experiences or share my knowledge. So, and there have been a few opportunities for that since I graduated. And so, yes, my university days and the things I learned on university exposed me to um, so many things that I can do now, so many skills now that I can take on. Like I said, I've learned some things or I've known some things that I could do before I got into university. I knew I could write. I knew I had some musical talent, and I knew I was able to keep people together. It was able to keep groups together. I could talk to people and then give strong and solid advice. It always worked. And so getting into university, and I was just university was just like a platform for me to hone those skills, for me to improve on them and polish them. And so now that I came out from university with those skills polished, at least to a great extent, I use those things now. I have those skills now, and then I am you know the visibility is coming out. People are seeing those things that I can do. People actually now seeing those talents, and happy that yes, I've come out better. Happy at my quality, happy at things that I know how to do right now. So yes, the university for me was a time of shaping, was a time of polishing, was a time of discovering. So those three things I had them, in good measure in university. So it helped it helps me. It still does help.
Wow, that's amazing. So we can all see that there are so many things that we can actually get from being an undergraduate. Like in school, there are so many things you can discover, and
Yes,
most of which can help you even as a graduate. Even as a graduate, I think
definitely.
I shared with Erika of when I finished school that for the next 6 months I was just at home. I was doing nothing, literally nothing.
Mhm.
And I asked myself that what if I could not write? What if I didn't discover
Mhm.
that I could write? What if I didn't explore my social kind of life? Should I say social? Let me say, what if I did not explore my other skills, creating content, video editing? What if I did not? What if I just went to school and that was it? It would have been boring, and I would have not gotten anything tangible from that. That's okay, not 6 months, up to 4 months or 5 months. I would have not gotten anything tangible. It was within that 5 months that Heart to Heart podcast started. It was within that 5 months that Quick Questions started. It was even then I discovered I started doing video last year. I started doing video. I don't show my face normally before. It was last I started
Mhm.
doing those. It's like, look at, what being an undergraduate, opened my mind to writing skill, opened my mind to voiceover, and the first voiceover I did was when I was in school. I saw it on someone's page and I tried to explore it, and it was really nice. So that is how it is. So you don't know where you might meet yourself. And the funniest part is that where I work, where I work, majorly what I do for them is based on my skill. Create content for them, graphics design, and so on. I'm not doing anything related to animal production.
Mhm.
So you don't know where you are going to find yourself. You don't know what exactly lies ahead of you. Many people might say, okay, when I finish accounts, I'm an accountant, I'll do my account and everything. It's my work. And there's some people that you still have to wait for 6 months before another job will click. What will you be doing for that 6 months? Nothing.
Mm.
Or you go and be learning work that you know that you will not use that skill for anything. So while you are
Yeah.
investing, this is the time for you to, discover yourself. And don't just know it in your head. Start doing it little by little. I had so many names as a writer. I had one of my friends that will not stop calling me Loba Notes. And I don't like that name anymore. I don't like it. Even the Loba, I don't use the name anymore. I don't use it. But being the fact that
Mm.
he knew that I used to write and I still write. The name did
Yeah.
not leave. Because then on my status, when I post my write up, it's always captioned with Loba Notes. One way or the other,
Mm.
at least 50% of the people that I know will know that I'm a writer. If not for
Yeah.
any, they will know that I'm a writer. So that's how it is. At least people are going to know exactly what you do. People are going to know exactly what you do and what you can do. I cannot have a friend that I don't know what you can do. Like, I don't know what you can do, or how are we going to be able to patronize you? For example, we are doing a business. How are we going to patronize you if we don't know what you sell? You just come here and say you sell stuffs. For example, you're just every time you're advertising your business, you are saying you sell stuffs. I sell stuff,
Mhm.
so I sell stuffs. That's all you are saying. Please, how will we patronize you? I don't buy stuffs. That's the same
Exactly.
thing when you are, mingling with people. For example, people that have access to big people, they are mingling
Mm.
with big people. Hey God. I've seen people like that. Like, and I was asking someone that, what if you are in a room with this person for 10 minutes? What will you say? Like, for example, maybe
Mm.
Dangote. For example, you want to go and serve Dangote tea. The day you go and serve him tea. You have a means to serve Dangote tea. And at least if you serve him tea for like 30 seconds or 10 seconds, or let's say 1 minute, you'll still be there. Because you first say, so nice to meet you, sir, and everything. Is it only selfie you remember to take? It's only selfie that you remember to take. No, 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 no. That is an opportunity for you to sell yourself. That's
Mhm.
the but if you don't know yourself, please, what do you want to sell? It's a thing as a writer, you can tell him that, oh, you create content for this and that, you write on this and that. And you might not think about, okay, maybe we should have a website. Come and be writing for us. Not those businessmen, they used to think about anything that can put them out there and bring them money. But
Mm.
if you don't know anything about yourself, how are you even going to put yourself out there? There's no way you can do it. So it's start now as an undergraduate. Even though you are still in secondary school and you are watching this, best time. I mean,
Mm.
you are so privileged. This is the best time for you to now discover yourself. Sit and think about the things that you can do. And if you are confused, I also shared something about the fact that most of the things that we might eventually do are things that we joke about even as a child.
Definitely.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, so I said thankfully for you. That was network, sorry. I said thankfully for you. You knew before you gained admission what you are supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like you knew that you were a writer, right? But
Mm-hmm.
for most of us, we were writing, but we didn't know that we were writers. So
Mm-hmm.
I said it in one of the sections that most times what you might eventually do, or maybe one of the things, might not be everything that you explore as a child. It might just be one particular thing. Just flash back to the things that you just joked about as a child. As a child, I would always hold remote control and be acting like a pastor in our parlor. I will always, we had this big mirror then, big mirror. I'll hold this stuff and I'll be talking to myself in the mirror. Like I'll be acting drama to myself in the mirror. Nobody will be there, just me and the mirror. Then
Mm-hmm.
it sounded like I was, because I don't even know why I was doing that thing because it didn't make sense. Maybe because of the movies I watched, because I always tried to just act. But then it didn't occur to me that it was anything. All the
Mm-hmm.
pastor drama in our parlor, it didn't occur to me that it's anything. Also in secondary school, we had this slum book. We were always writing book about love inside. I love writing. Even till now, whenever I see new notes, let me just have it. Let me just have it and be right. Even if what I write is like that, I have some books that some books that because of the rubbish that I wrote, I'll have to tear those rubbish because me reading it, it doesn't make sense, right? But as I was
Yeah.
writing them, it shows how much I really loved writing, even when I was in secondary school. So when I started writing, I just had to flash back to the kind of person that I was. I loved writing. I had a
Mm-hmm.
friend then in secondary school that she would give me her notes. I should help her to write. I loved writing. And maybe one
Yeah.
of that thing that gingered me to write again was my handwriting. And my handwriting is fine. Ah, no. No way. Any writer that the handwriting is not fine. What are you writing? What are you writing? So my handwriting was fine. That was another ginger for me again. So if you
Mm.
are confused on what you are supposed to do, just sit down. Just take time to sit down and think about the things that you just joked about, as a child, as a teenager. Just think about those things. You might be able to get something from it. I tell you, you might be able to get something from it. So if you are watching this and you're like, oh, you don't know anything, just do that. And you might, let me say, just 80%. I'm sure that you might actually get something from it. 80% sure. So
Yeah.
you could try it out. Thank you so much, Wisdom. We just have two more questions that I feel that will not take our time because we've said a lot. It says, how were
Okay.
you able to maximize your time as an undergraduate? Being the fact that you mentioned leading, you mentioned tutorial, you even mentioned lesson. You do
Yeah.
home lesson.
Yes.
So you had
Okay.
that, you were doing those things, and you were still a student of Olabisi Onabanjo University. How were you able to maximize your time?
Uh, well, I guess, and I'll just be honest, this is probably something that I'm still learning how to do properly and perfectly. But I'd say that when I was an undergraduate, I just learned to prioritize. You know, I I first of all was committed to my school because I mean that was the reason why I went to Olabisi Onabanjo University. I wanted to get a degree, so school was very important, paramount in fact. And then I had other things that I wanted to do. I had other desires that I wanted to, fulfill when I was in school. I couldn't do them. I couldn't do all of them. One of those things was, being a sports person that is representing the school in sports. I couldn't do that because it would mean that I would have to juggle academics, my school, with fellowship and with tutorials. Because I used to have tutorials also with my classmates. So and maybe some other peripheral responsibilities that I had. So I knew I couldn't juggle all of them. So I had to weigh my options and prioritize. So I prioritized school because that was the primary reason why I was in Olabisi Onabanjo University. And I didn't want to miss classes for anything. So I wasn't sitting back at home to miss classes knowing that, you know, people, my classmates were in school, going to classes. So no, I wasn't missing classes. I would always go to class, you know. And I think we should always keep that in mind. Remember the things that you went to school primarily for, because first of all, God gave you the admission. God gave you responsibility. Also, you're a responsible person. So show yourself responsible by doing what you're supposed to do. And then fellowship would come really close because it did take up my time. And
A lot.
this is just something you need to know. You need to put in extra effort. If you are someone who would commit yourself to church service as a student, you need to put in extra effort in your academics, because one could overlap and hinder the other. That's the truth. So
Yeah.
you need to put special extra effort in your academics so that you do not find yourself slacking. Because at a point in fellowship, I was I think 200 level, 300, 400 level. I was going to church 6 out of 7 times a week. 6 over 7 days, I had something to do in the church, and I had to be there. So that's the truth. So I would definitely be there. But I wouldn't
Oh,
say
yeah.
that some of those things would now in some cases, maybe some programs will now affect my going to class. No, I would choose going to class. I would choose going to class in those cases. I would make exception. I'd say, I'm sorry, I have to be there, you know. But many times, I had to, focus on fellowship and do some of those things, because I was in how many departments? Probably, I think I was not to 5 departments, and I was still having to hold my role as a leader too. So I knew I needed to prioritize and focus on those things that were primary assignments first before doing the things that were secondary. So I would and you also have to know yourself. That's the thing. That's another thing. If it's about
Yeah.
time management, you have to know yourself, because I realized for me, I do not have a very long attention span. My attention span is quite short. So if I want to read my book for any exam, I can't read more than 1 hour at a go. If someone asks me to sit down, and in fact, I will not even sit down at the table because I'll be restless. I'll lie down on my bed or sit on my bed, and then I'll read. But I know I won't read more than an hour. So how was I able to, you know, even teach my classmates sometimes? I had to break down my reading time, and I had to take every opportunity I had to read. I had to take every opportunity with my classmates to learn, because in at the point where we are discussing school matters, that is, you're discussing topics that we learned in class, I'm also learning, I'm also reading in those moments. I'm not just wasting those time to just gist and just laugh away. No, I'm also trying to learn. If I see because I had really brilliant classmates, so if I see them you know looking at something and they are trying to brainstorm and understand something, I'm there. I'm in school, I'm in class, yes, but I'm there. I find myself, put myself there, so that at every point I'm taking in knowledge. I might not have the time on my own to now read 3 hours or 4 hours at a go. But then at every exam, or almost every exam that I faced, I was almost always prepared for almost all of them. That's the truth. I was almost always prepared. And it didn't come from reading long hours. It came from taking every opportunity to learn. It came from taking every opportunity I had to understand the material that was being taught. I didn't just need to wait for a reading time. I had to be very flexible. So that flexibility helped me, because I knew that I had other schedules that were going to interfere with a proper reading schedule, a proper reading time. So I had to, you know, learn how to be flexible with my reading, with my taking in knowledge, so that I could make time for those other things. So I think you need to understand how you take in knowledge, how you read, how you assimilate, and now prioritize your schedule accordingly, so that you can maximize, you know, um your time in school. So first of all, ace your schoolwork, that is to do well academically, and also the other peripheral activities that you're taking on to also excel at them. Yeah.
Wow. I feel that maybe you're one of those people that can fully explain this issue of maximizing time, because for me, I wasn't anywhere in the fellowship. I was not there. So I now really struggle. I can decide to go and I can decide not to go. So when people ask me about how to balance and balance, I don't really used to have something concrete to say because I never went through that. And I always believe that it has to be your school, like while you are in school. If you are not in school, there will be nothing like fellowship. Although I know there are
Yeah.
times that maybe you want to compromise because of responsibility and everything. I also did that, when I eventually, became the family and everything. But then my school is important to me. Very important. And there are
Mm.
times that when I finish from class and I'm tired and they have Bible study, I go to my house straight away because I have class the next
Mm.
day.
Mhm.
Sometimes I go for Bible study because my friend is the one that is in Bible study coordinator. And
Mhm.
the day that she left that post, I don't think I counted how many times I went that thing, because
Mhm.
for me it wasn't so much like I was trying to struggle. I'm struggling with my time. I wasn't struggling with anything. If there's anything that took my time, I would say maybe just doing unnecessary things. That's how it is. But for you now, you had responsibility, and people that are thinking that what if they want to do a business in school? You understand? I feel that this point that you said also can work for it, because if you it falls back again to examining yourself. Know what works for you, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
And also don't pretend that those responsibilities are not there. We like to do that a lot, like we got
Mhm.
it, we can do it, we got you got nothing. There are some things that will need you to sit down and plan. You not
Yeah.
got it, you got your school and business together, you not got anything, you know. By the time you finish that your business money, you know that you not got it. So, and by the time
Yeah.
you eventually take up your business more than your school gone, and you have like six hmm,
Yeah.
carryovers in a term, I mean in a semester, you know that you not got anything. So be sincere with yourself that you have responsibilities, you have something that you need to do. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So now take our time to map out, a particular strategy that works for you. Like look at what he said about when it comes to when he meets his friend and they discuss, like he doesn't really need to go back to start, reading afresh and everything. That's another means for him to know exactly what is in his notes. And that's how it is. So know what works for you. There are some of you that you might like midnight reading.
Mhm.
Indulge in midnight reading. Don't use that time to say that, sorry, I'm going to say this, that you want to be praying for 6 hours in the midnight. You will pray, oh, you will feel, you will speak in tongues, you will fall under the anointing, but then your books are still there. Your
Mhm.
books are still there. So you cannot be praying 6 hours every night, every day, every day, every day, every day, and your exam is coming up. So
Yeah.
balance things. When you're supposed to be in class, don't go to market. You want to go and buy business, you want to go and restock. Don't restock. Go for that class. Unless if you know that maybe the lecturer is not coming or is not so important, lecturer is not strict. But you know that this lecturer will take attendance. We won't do tests. But you're
Mhm.
saying it's risk. It's not risk, oh, that's foolishness. So that's not risk at all. There are so many other days I can go to that market. So plan your things out very well. Prioritize the most important one. That is your studies. Then start fixing the remaining ones below it and give time for it. Give time for it.
Yeah.
When it comes to business, you can just say during the weekend or Saturday, you can use that one to, run your sales. And even if you want to run your sales during the week, map out time for posting, time for social media, time for you creating video for your, all those kind of things. Map them out. Have a strategy for these things. Don't have them in your head. If you have them in your head, you will end up not doing the important ones. I'm talking from
Exactly.
experience. I'm talking from me. There are times that I'll be at work and I'm busy with my own personal stuff. I sang one song yesterday because it got to a time that I want to do my personal stuff, but then there is work there. Then I have to sing the song I even need money for this thing I'm calling purpose. Because I was thinking that purpose is important, purpose defines you, can it come? But then I feel like the Holy Spirit had to make me realize that you need money for your purpose. So if you now say you want to focus on your purpose, you've not gotten anywhere. In fact, it just started.
Mhm.
So that's how it is. So we're not saying what you are doing is not reasonable. It is reasonable, but then
Mhm.
prioritize the most important things, work on it, build on it, and make sure that no one is lacking. That is it. Make sure that no one is lacking. Make sure that you are feeding every responsibility you're supposed to do. You're reading your books, the people that are under you, you are teaching them the right thing, you are showing up for them, you are not lacking, you're not giving unnecessary excuses, and you see that
Yeah.
everything is going to fall in place. So the last question now is, any advice that you have for high school graduates, undergraduates, graduates? Any advice? Any advice?
Um, okay, I think I already said or I already gave this advice at the beginning, and that is understand that every phase, every moment, every time in your life is for growth. There is no end in sight when it comes to growing or developing yourself. So it never stops. So don't take each moment or don't take each phase in your life as do or die. So that when you fail in those moments, you don't come out depressed. You don't come out, feeling that you have failed in life. No. Every moment in life, every phase in life is a phase for growth, is a phase for understanding who you are. It's a phase for trying to achieve, trying to attain, aspiring to become. And so when you go through those phases, don't go through them, you know, with the pressure of um of wanting to succeed at all costs. No. Go through them and enjoy those phases. Go through them, and even in the sacrifices that you would make, even in the challenges that would come your way, try as much as possible not to lose your joy. Try as much as possible not to lose your your humanity. Don't lose sight of who you are. Don't lose sight of those things that please you, those things that give you comfort and solace. Don't lose sight of your friends. Don't lose sight of your family. Don't lose sight of the people that hold your hands during those moments, during those times when you are trying to hit your dreams, you're trying to hit targets. Don't lose sight of those people that really matter to you because you're under some form of pressure to attain. No, you need to look at each moment, each phase as you know as a trial. And you'd also you need to balance this with the fact that yes, you want to achieve, you want to pass this trying time, you want to pass this test, but it's not do or die. At the same time, you need to also put yourself and commit yourself to the things that you need to do. You need to commit yourself to your purposes. I'll just say you should never run away from those things that you're supposed to touch, those things you're supposed to overcome, those things you're supposed to become. There are going to be obstacles. There are always obstacles. What other way would you get to those places? What other means would you become what you want to become if you're not there as a refined person? If you're not going through fire, if you're not going through challenges, if you're not passing through, a thorny path so you could, come out um as a more polished person? Through what other route are you going to become that very brilliant, smart, you know, complete, wholesome person that you want to be if you don't go through trying times? That's why I believe life is wholesome and life should be lived wholesomely. So don't run away. Don't be a hedonist. Don't look for pleasure. Don't always seek pleasures all the time. There are times you would get pleasures, but you need to seek challenges also. You need to seek things that are going to you know push you to becoming the refined person that you want to become. The refined person is the person who's already enjoying life's benefits, but that's after the um time of trial. That's after the time of sacrifice. That's after the time of pain and sweat. So don't go with a hedonist mindset of wanting to become or dreaming to become without actually taking the pain now to do what you're supposed to do. So I'm saying two things now. Try to create a balance between you know um not falling under the pressure of wanting to achieve success, and at the same time giving yourself to the challenges that come your way. So those two things are extremely important. Another thing I would say is always keep hope for the future. Always just remain hopeful, regardless of what it is right now, regardless of the challenges right now, regardless of the mistakes, because I made mistakes even in the university. I made mistakes in the university. That's one thing I should say. I made mistakes in the university. Regardless of the mistakes you made, always keep up hope for improvement, for change. Don't say you failed now and you failed forever. No, keep space for impermanence, keep space for change, keep space for growth, keep space for things becoming better in your life. Keep space for good breaks. Keep space for challenges turning to victories. Keep space for trials becoming triumphs. I want you to look at those things that are coming your way and look beyond them. Look beyond them. Look for how you're going to flatten those mountains and then see the things that are on the other side of the mountain. Look beyond those problems and look at those things that you can become. Always hope for those things you can become. Even when you achieve, at the point you would find yourself, if you follow some of these things like I have, and I still have somewhere to go. But if you follow some of these things like I have, you'd find yourself, getting a few benefits. But then even when you get to those spots, always still look ahead. Keep looking ahead. Keep having the hope that there is still some place, somewhere, something in my life that I can improve, that I can work on, and I can, tackle, and through that become a better person. So always keep looking ahead, always keep looking forward, always keep looking ahead of you and striving to become a better person.
That is it. That is it actually. Look beyond your present situation. Yeah. Look
Mm,
beyond your present situation and dare to dream. That's what I would say. Don't say it is too big. Don't say it is unrealistic. Dare to dream. Dare to expect for the best. And the part that you said,
exactly.
don't shut people out, don't cut people off, that is very, very important. There are people that, because they are not getting what they want, they now start cutting people off. They
Mhm.
want to change their circle. Most times, your circle might not be the problem. That is it. They want to change
Mhm.
friend, new area, new friends, new season, new friends. All those kind of nonsense. No, it doesn't make
Uh-huh.
sense. Your problem might not be your circle, might not be your friends. It can just be that
Mhm.
it's just a process. So enjoy the process. Learn from it, because the next stage you should not make the same mistake again. So look out for what is not working,
Exactly.
look for solutions so that they will work out, and you are not going to make that same mistake in the next phase of your life. So don't be bothered about whatever thing that is happening. Look beyond. Look beyond. If everyone now, we are looking at the present, we are not going to be where we are today. Like what I'm doing,
Exactly.
nobody's giving me money. There's no money
Mhm.
there at all. There is nothing there. The only thing that is there
Mhm.
is fulfillment of doing, something that would impact people. And I know that this
Yes.
is not even where we are going to. We've not even gone anywhere. There is still
Mhm.
somewhere. There is still platforms that we are going to be. There is still halls that we are going to buy for our conferences. So that is it. So I'm not bothered about now. I'm not bothered about the amount that we have to pay, the things that we have to do. So I'm just concerned and more interested with what is ahead. So that should be your goal too. You're an
Yes.
undergraduate, look beyond. You're still going to graduate from university, you're going to work, you're going to serve, you're going to move to a new place. You don't know what is ahead. That is how it is. You don't
Mhm.
know what is ahead. So while you are there presently, enjoy it, make good use of it, because you cannot go back there again. That is it. You cannot go back there again. So make sure that you do things that you will not end up regretting that you never did. So that's how
Yes.
it is. So I hope that you've learned a lot of things from wisdom perspective, wisdom insight, and like his name is wisdom, has given us so many things today. Educated us on so many things from his life. Even with the fact that he shared stories, we were still able to get solutions from it. And I know that it's not just me. I know that everyone everyone that has been listening or that will still even watch the replay would have
mm,
something to pick. Even as a graduate, that is how, even as a, there are many graduates that don't know how to maximize their time. They don't know how to
mhm,
maximize it. They don't know how to make use of their 24 hours. That's why they will say that 24 hours is not enough. It's not enough, true. But then, what are you using it for? Complaint will
mhm,
not change it. It will not change it. You know, go past that 24 hours. You go still remain that 24 hours. So while we are still at it, make good use of it. So, and I feel that
mm,
from what wisdom I've shared, you can pick out something for your life. And I pray that God is going to help you. Thank you so much,
mm.
wisdom. You know,
Yes,
your
thank you
God
for
is going to
having
take
me.
you to greater heights, more
Amen.
more platform for you to cover in
Amen.
Jesus' name. As your name implies, it's going to use you for it's going to use you as a tool to, you know, give people solution. It's going to use you as a tool to impact other people, to give value to other people. You are not going to, your voice is not going to be dimmed. Your
Amen.
voice is going to be loud to the ends of the earth, from here to your area, beyond Nigeria, beyond even America, as big as
Amen.
it is. You know, your voice is going to be heard. Even people that don't know you will hear your voice and be inspired. They'll hear your voice
Amen.
and receive clarity. They'll hear your voice and will want to strive to be better. That is how it's going to be. Thank you so much
Amen.
for honoring our invite. We are so glad to have you. I'm super excited and I'm grateful. Have a lovely night.
Thank you for thank you for
Bye.
having me. I'm really grateful to be here. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. And we are done. Thank you so much for joining. I think I can see MJ Ludash or something. That's the name that I can see. But thank you so much for joining. I really had a great time. I had a great time. We spent over 2 hours, and it's as if we should not stop. Shows how much shows how much we've learned so far and how much of knowledge wisdom was given to us. And I want to say that don't just hold this knowledge. Don't just watch the video and leave it or write in your notepad and everything. Make sure that you are taking steps. Make sure that you take steps. And as you're taking steps, if you see that you have a friend that he has a flaw in one thing or the other, or you have a friend that has not heard about this, help them. Help them, because our circle has a way of influencing us. And that person that you think that does not have a good behavior today, or is not living right today, might actually be the person that will help you. So help somebody. The Bible says that, if you refresh others, other version will say if you bless others, you also you'll be blessed. So help them. You know that this person is lacking. This person is living a wayward life on campus. This person is clueless. Or you have a younger one that is not going to school yet. Let them watch it on your phone. Explain to them. That way you are building them for the life that they want to experience in university. Because of you experience a kind of life does not mean that it will be the same for them. When you help them now, they'll be able to overcome those things that you were not able to overcome. So that is it. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. Our next section is on Saturday. And I have my beloved baby girl coming over here. I hope that we don't spend more than this time. But don't worry. Don't worry. I have her under control. She's going to come for me. But thank you so much for joining. I love the fact that we are giving feedbacks on the group and we are watching this. And I pray that this is not going to I pray that this particular section is going to impact us. I pray that at the end of all these sections, we are going to see changes in our life, in our mindset, in the name of Jesus. That is my prayer for you. Have a lovely night, everybody.